Alright, so I just got done watching the new season of Ozark's, season 4. I'm going to start off by just doing a little spoiler-free thing for anybody who's wondering, okay, I've seen the previous 3 seasons, they were awesome. Is this season any different? I'm glad to say absolutely not. It still continues with the same good paced storytelling, tension, acting, all across the board. Engagement is great. I love this show. We're going to get into some of the reasons specifically why I like this season. I have my list of notes here. But yeah, so this show is just, it's like Breaking Bad, man. It's what it reminds me of, which, obviously best show, one of the best shows of all time. And this show is in the same lane with that. So yeah, that's really all you got to say as a review. And like I said, as a spoiler-free review. And this season 4, part 1, luckily is no different. Apologize about some of the background noise. My girlfriend's playing some games with her friends. So the season starts out with, probably, with all that said, the season starts out with one thing that I'll say is negative for me right now. Hopefully that'll change by the time we get to the end of the season. But I do not like the randomness of the event that happens in the flash forward. Now, what I mean is, so I like for things to lead to this happening, right, with the car crash. Why did it happen? I need to watch the scene again, but was Marty, on pills because he was stressed out because of this, and that's why I know car accidents just happen because they happen, but that's not all that interesting. There's no webbing or story behind it that made it happen. What I'm trying to say is, whenever random stuff like this just happens, where do we draw the line where stuff can just happen to be engaging? Let's say a meteor just comes down and just crashes and, blows up Marty's house or something just because, that's kind of what's meant to engage you. It's something crazy to happen, sure, but there's no story build up to it, and that's why I don't really like this, as far as it seemed just a random car accident, happening. Maybe we'll come back to seeing that was actually a cartel car that weaved into Marty's lane and was after him. I would like something like that, but as far as I could tell, it seemed like Marty weaved into his lane. Like I said, I'm going to have to watch it again, but that's my only complaint. I don't like the randomness of that, but I do enjoy whenever seasons or episodes start out with an event and you get to kind of guess, okay, how did everybody end up here, because it seemed like they were getting away, as far as I could tell, in that opening scene, going back to Chicago, I believe. Like I said, I don't remember exactly. I only seen it once, but and then the car accident happens and ruins it all for them. Just out of everything they made it through, the randomness of a car accident, I don't really like that. So we'll see if there's more to it or more that transpires after that. But yeah, so anyway, let's say Marty. So I have a note here. Marty is one of the most interesting characters I've seen on TV, just because of his uniqueness to his character. Jason Bateman plays him so well, because he's not like a calm, cool type of character, the calm, cool, silent type, right? But he is calm and cool, though, but he's also very on edge and tension-filled, but he funnels it so well and is so rational, and just kind of subdued, but also, yeah, a very rational person, good at problem solving, and he has a little bit of sarcastic edge to him because he is just one of the most logical people you could ever come across, and very copacetic, just straight to the solution. Okay, it's this simple to Marty Bird. So yeah, I love his character. And yeah, he's got, and I love how he's the best at what he does with the laundering money. Kind of like how I mentioned the show is like Breaking Bad. It's like Walt with his meth, but Marty with his money laundering. And yeah, I love some of his sarcastic scenes. They have some funny scenes in here. One that sticks out to me, Marty, when he's in an argument, you know, he gets really agitated, and sometimes he breaks his like cool, and he's like, okay, well just do this. There was a scene at the end where he's trying to get this guy out of the funeral home, and he's like, okay, I need you to leave. You know, sorry your wife's dead, but I need you to leave, please. You know, and the guy's like, no. He's like, okay.
She's cracked.
It's like, I'll give you 15% off of your wife's funeral, or fucking 25%, whatever it takes to get you out of here, you know, right now. It's hilarious. And then we're starting off with some of the bigger, I'm going to go through most of the course of the season here with some of the bigger things, but I'm just reading in the order of my notes here. So we got Darlene and Wyatt's death. Absolutely huge shocker there. You know, they just weren't necessary to the story anymore. It's just the way it played out, so it played out, you know. Like I said, always something kind of engaging or interesting to happen, and it most of the time, except for that one first opening scene, it doesn't feel like it's just something just to happen. It pushes the story forward in a way, or yeah, it feels natural, you know. So Darlene and Wyatt's time was up. Wyatt was there, just gets blown away, you know, that simple, nothing poetic or kind of, you know, I don't know, special to his death. It was just the way it was. Time to go, you know, shocking, and there he went, you know. And Ruth reacting to it, going off, her acting at the end was phenomenal. Alright, so my next note here is about Wendy. Huge catalyst this season for just trouble. She is, with how irrational Marty is, she is the polar opposite of that, with her being irrational. One of the most irrational people, I think. Such a frustrating character. Her interactions with Jonah, you know, I know Jonah's being a little shit in some situations too, for sure. But at the same time, the staple that Marty and Wendy especially have set for their kind of behavior and things that are acceptable, you know, killing your uncle, for example, you know, just another day, just what had to be done. And, you know, the police and whatever, you can't really expect your kids to kind of behave, you know, and be in line. So yeah, so she's just so irritating with a lot of the things that she does, not even with just her interacting with Jonah this season, also her irrational behavior with Ruth, you know, kind of shit talking Ruth, just projecting what was really things that she did as her fault onto everybody else, not really caring whether they get caught or not, or how it looks to put out Ben's death out there into the streets. Just super frustrating. I don't think there was one damn thing that she did this season that didn't just frustrate the hell out of me. Yeah. So yeah, okay, so another thing, I like Ruth and Marty's relationship, even so. The way that they still, again, it's like Walt and Jesse from Breaking Bad, you know, and I don't feel like it's a rip-off of Breaking Bad. It's just, again, doing that same line, or maybe even paying respect to that show. I'm not sure, but it never feels like, oh, you're just copying this, you know. It's just a different story in the same storyline, you know, or you know, kind of genre done well, you know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, I like how even though they're not on the same side for some of it, at the end of the day, you know, they still come together and work together and have each other's backs. Yeah, and Marty's still protecting her. So yeah, this show, they even have like a Saul Goodman in here, Wendy's lawyer. So yeah, just more Breaking Badness to it, but you know, just something I noticed. So Ruth goes through some self-awareness this season that I like, where she kind of starts to see like, okay, you know, I'm better than all this, or I have potential to be better than all this, you know. And I like one of her lines. I had it quoted in here. She has a line in here: God built me smart enough to know how to fuck up my life, but not smart enough how to, you know, unfuck myself or get myself out of it. I love that line from her. And hopefully by the end of the series, you know, she doesn't die. She ends up, you know, somewhere good. I don't know, you know, but at the same time, the show could go for a dark ending, you know, who knows. And again, she's like Jessie in that way, you know, where she has more potential to be better than all the stuff that's dragging her down. Let's see. I like with Jonah doing more of his money laundering thing for Ruth this season. I like how Marty is kind of proud of him and comes in to help him out too sometimes, you know, and how they can kind of bond over that. I really enjoy that dynamic. And yeah, so I forgot to mention the big cliffhanger from last season, the ending of season 3. Absolutely crazy. I don't know if I've been so shocked by an ending as I was and engaged by the ending of season 3. But yeah, that was Helen's death, and her death pushes the story forward in a way where you get the private detective come in, annoying as fuck. This guy, always pushing on Marty's property, even forcing Marty to be kind of confrontational. So yeah, I think he will lead to their demise in some way for sure, because he's definitely going to discover something. You know, I think he'll find out what really happened to Ben at a certain point, for sure, in the next half. We may do a video predicting some stuff for the next half. We'll see, especially once we get a trailer out for it, because I think it is supposed to come this year. I don't think we're going to have to wait, 2 years like we did for this season, right?
They have a concept too.
So yeah, so that character was annoying, but they kind of explain why he's so annoying and onto it, because it was his ex-wife for one, and then two, he's got a cocaine addiction. He's kind of just addicted to his work, right? So yeah, I don't know if we had heard Helen talk about him before, and also he's the worst fucking PI ever. If he was a private detective and he had no idea what his ex-wife was doing for work, maybe that's why she left him. I don't remember, because she didn't want him to find out about her. But yeah, kind of, did he have no idea what she was into? Anyway, so the cartel boss, Navarro, is an interesting villain, I want to say. Yeah, because he's just kind of trying to retire out of that life a little bit. He's not off the handle. He still handles his business, but he's still also yeah, is just kind of a little bit more rational, I guess, than especially his nephew, Javi. Yeah, Javi. I've heard people say it both ways. I'm pretty sure it's Javi. But Javi is a super annoying character, but also something that's super interesting to see, because whenever he's on screen, you're always waiting, like, what the fuck is he gonna do? Flirting with, what the fuck is her name? Violet? Not Violet. Marty's daughter. I just forgot her name. But yeah, flirting with her, or just blowing somebody's head off just because he feels like it. The police, the sheriff, whatever. So yeah, super loose cannon to have. And yeah, but annoying as well. And I started to root for Navarro, like Navarro a little bit towards the end for sure. So hope maybe he'll. Well, he is kind of on the side of taking down Navarro. He is. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. I feel bad for the FBI agent, even though she kind of is the black FBI agent. I'm so bad with names, I'm sorry. But she's kind of self-serving herself in this plot to with Navarro not really on the bird side or Navarro's side, which can't blame her. But I do feel bad for her at sometimes being manipulated by the birds. Excuse me. But yeah, so I can't really blame her, but also it's a little bit annoying that she kind of screwed over the deal for them. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. So it was interesting for some parts of the season. I'm not kind of jumping around here, but I'm just reading off of the order that I listed this. It's interesting to see Wyatt and Ruth's dynamic with Darlene as well, because there's kind of a point in the season where she realized, like, I'm just working with some kids, there's a bunch of kids I'm working with, and they were trying to go make hipster and jokes, like, about her business or whatever, just being kids, 20-something, young kids, and yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if you want to say you feel bad for Darlene, but it's just like, yeah, this is what's going to happen, what do you expect, and also on that same note, I'm just going to say while we're talking about Darlene, God bless the actor who plays fucking Wyatt, having to kiss Darlene, the actress. No offense, not saying like she's ugly or anything. She's just an old lady, right? She's just old, So yeah, poor kid having to kiss her, and it's probably weird for the older actress as well, right? So yeah, they're good actors. Hope they get paid a little bit more for having to go through that for our entertainment. Good music throughout this show as well. It's just kind of, they have some interesting music choices that you wouldn't really expect in a show like this, like reggae, kind of rap type stuff. That fits really well, surprisingly, and yeah, I really enjoy it. We also have a side character in here. I forget his name, but he's the guy who gets addicted to the gambling. Yeah, so it's kind of sad what the birds did to him. They turned him into a gambling addiction. having a gambling addiction, and then we even we even get to see him become the manager of the hotel, and then they still even manipulate him a little bit in there. But I do like how he's still a part of the story a little bit, and just kind of there for some goofy comedic relief. You feel bad for him, but he's likable enough. And he has a scene in here where there's a famous chef that gets brought into the story, and he kind of geeks out over him, which I liked. You know, it's a fun scene. Let's see. So Frank Cosgrove is another death this season. Yeah, didn't really care too much about him. You know, getting down towards the end of the wire, so you kind of get rid of some loose ends or suspendable pieces of the plot. The dialogue between I was starting to like. By the way, I was starting to like Frank Jr. a lot more this season. You know, he felt kind of minor or just annoying last season, but I do like the way him and Ruth kind of make amends and become buddies, you know, because they both kind of had shitty dads or whatever. And but there was some weird dialogue. If you pay attention, it was like, tell me, am I the only one who thought this? Probably. I wish I could clip it in here, but the dialogue between Frank and Frank Jr., their last scene together, was really weird. I think I don't have any complaints really with the dialogue or the acting in the show, but I thought their last scene together was very strange. I played it back a few times. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it sounded kind of like gay, like they were insinuating something. If you kind of just, it reminds me, have you seen the videos of, like, you know, this scene out of context from this show? If you took that scene and you could do that with that scene, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so anyway, we get Wendy's dad in here a little bit. I don't give a fuck if they're trying to put Wendy's. I know why he's in there, because of Ben. If you're trying to put Wendy's dad in here to be like, oh, he was this kind of dad, that's why Wendy is the way she is, I don't give a fuck, dude. No sympathy for that whatsoever. Yeah, Wendy is a fucking child, for the most part. So whatever with that. I do like the actor who plays her dad, though. Let's see. And yeah, Wendy and Navarro have a little relationship going that I like. You know, I'll say that at least. And then yeah, so that's all I basically got for the season. You know, I really enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next half to see where it all ends up. Yeah, I'm worried. I'll say I'm worried with a show that's been this good, this flawless. Absolutely enjoyed it. Oh, and we get to see Marty kind of go and do try to go back to where he was at in season 1 with, like, getting his office, and he's gonna fucking leave Wendy, you know, is what it comes down to. He's gonna leave her once all this shit's done and they're done. You know, he still loves her, but yeah, he's done with all that crap, all her just irrational shit, annoying shit this season. You know, she sits and watches Darlene have a heart attack. Like, I get, like, that's some Walter White shit, right? Maybe they do rip off Breaking Bad just a little bit, right? But she sits and watches her have a heart attack, and just with such a shit-eating grin on her face. Not even like a moment of, like, conflict, like, oh, this is wrong to do. No, just a shit-eating bitch grin on her face. Such an irritating character. Darlene's a crazy piece of shit, don't get me wrong. But yeah, even so, just yeah, no, I was a bigger fan of Darlene than Wendy this season. So yeah, let's hope that something bad is in store for her. I do think that she'll do something where it's gonna, like I said, we might do a prediction video, but I do think something's gonna happen where she's gonna have a moment like, oh man, I've really fucked up here, you know, before it's all said and done. So yeah, I just hope, with as good as all of this has been, it's gonna be really easy to disappoint with the ending. What I mean is, like, Game of Thrones is a great example. Great show. I even enjoyed season 7 more than most people did. And then with that last season, fucking blew it all. You know, didn't matter how good any of that was, because the last damn season ruined every bit of it. And I just hope that the last 7 episodes of this won't disappoint. I don't think that they will, but I didn't think Game of Thrones could like it did. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it won't. But yeah, anyway, I am, you know, trying to do some more things for the channel. So if you watch this far, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like or subscribe. You know, I usually don't ask that, but like I said, I'm working on some things. I'm working on maybe an editor to do maybe a little bit bigger of an edited video later. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Computer editing is so fucking difficult. You can see I got some lights back here that I'm using, and for a little bit better of a background. So yeah, trying to do some more things to spice up the channel just a little bit. So yeah. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this season, and what your predictions are for the next half of the season. And like I said, maybe we'll do a video predicting that. So yeah, hope you're having a good day or night, and I will see you in the next one.